Do we have a number?
38, right?
Yeah, but do we have like a number?
Oh, a guy.
Oh, yeah, it's David Gilliland. Or Todd Gilliland.
NASCAR 38. Oh, not
Elliott Sadler.
I like Elliott
Who has the
Sadler,
most stars?
Let
I feel like it's Elliott
David.
Sadler. Oh, really? Holy
No, it's
fuck, he's got
David.
243.
Then Elliott's behind. I go with Elliott because he really was the true.
He actually won in the car.
He was also the he ran that car under Yates the longest, which when it was relevant is the Eminem's car.
Yates.
Then David took it over and drove
Dave,
it
by the way,
deep,
right here
deep in
for
the
you.
ground.
What? Hold on. I didn't know, like, oh, Buc-ee's, dude.
Yeah, repping.
Yeah, but there's like a Buc-ee's
Love
like
it.
a mile down the street from me, and it's fucking annoying.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they had him in Bama.
You live in one of those places that has a Buc-ee's? I'm sorry. One of those
Yes.
highway cities.
Dude,
Those-
they released 10 more stores in Oklahoma. Still don't get one.
No,
Ridiculous.
you don't want one.
Man, I went to that one in Tennessee. It was the bomb.
Bro, you
Isn't
need some-
Buc-ee's like a
Here's the-
convenience store?
it's,
No, here's
No, it's the,
the
world's
problem.
largest
it's
convenience
the
store.
convenience store.
Oh,
Here's the problem by having it in your town is you can't go there because every freaking time you just trying to run in and grab something, it's like 40 minutes just to get to the damn fucking store.
What do you
Yeah.
mean try to run in and grab stuff? Don't you understand?
Why
It's
you
like a
going
little
to
strip
Buc-ee's?
mall. It's a little strip mall. Like they have decorations. They got T-shirts. I'm wearing one right now.
You want to buy
They
a
got-
candle?
Yeah.
I'm sitting at the
Beef
damn
jerky? How about
I'm
some
at the
fudge?
fucking racetrack and I'm like, oh, I need some ice. I'll just run down here to Buc-ee's and grab some fucking ice.
Oh, yeah,
No.
right, dude. I know better than that. You'd be better off.
All right, for the uncultured, can someone tell me what Buc-ee's is?
Okay,
Go look
Buc-ee's.
it up, man.
It's a
B-U-C-C
massive-
space E-E.
Buc-ee's. I love it because all the Formula One drivers always talk about it when they come to Austin. They're like, "We went to Buc-ee's. It was crazy." So Buc-ee's is like the world's largest convenience store, and
Yeah, the one
like,
in Tennessee.
They have like
technically is,
150 gas pumps at every Buc-ee's.
yeah, like there's
What?
three.
Ridiculous.
There's three
Yes.
within 4 hours of me, and they all have like 150 gas pumps. It's like a Walmart sized,
Oh,
Gas
what
station.
the hell?
and that fucking
see it
squirrel
now.
beaver
Holy shit.
thing is their mascot.
It's Bucky
And-
the Beaver.
And it's a cult. They have Bucky fucking shirts, hats.
Oh, yeah, and that
Socks.
truck.
Right here, Antonio. I got you, bro.
That's so funny. Y'all gotta send me one.
Yeah,
But,
I need to.
But Levi's from Oklahoma, so Loves is like the Oklahoma thing.
Oh, it's nowhere near, bro. The
I know,
bathrooms
but-
are always trash.
Yeah, but they have
Oh.
CB radios and charging cords.
And they got swords.
Yeah.
And everything smells like caramel for some reason. But besides that, it's
Welcome
not
to
Bucky.
Oklahoma. That's how I know I'm in Oklahoma. Is there's a bunch of Loves and and
you're-
they all sell swords.
If you're towing with a diesel and a trailer, like for towing, you have to have a trailer, a big trailer. Don't go to Buc-ee's, go to Love's. The bathrooms aren't as clean, but it's a lot easier to drive a freaking truck and trailer into a Love's than it is a Buc-ee's.
Bucky's still worth it. Those are the cleanest damn bathrooms.
Those
I've
beaver
ever been
nuggets
in.
are fire.
Dude, that wall of beef jerky, I'm telling you. Anyways.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, man. They got those barbecue
I'll give it.
sauce.
The beef
Oh!
jerky is freaking phenomenal.
They sell those
It's
little
just-
cups with the beef jerky and the cheese and pretzels and
And
Sorry.
I'll give it to them. Their brisket for being gas station brisket is amazing.
It's good. It's good. And their
So anyways,
tacos.
Yeah. The Lab Zero podcast today is sponsored by Bucky's. Wait, we're not sponsored by Bucky's.
They have
because-
they have like bacon wrapped quail. It's like a legit. What is it? What is Canada
We
doing?
got tiramisu up in here.
He's got some. Yeah, I want to know what
Where
gas
did he
stations are
go?
like in Canada. Is it just like can we get you some gas? That's lame.
No,
dude.
actually, ours are terrible. I can't lie. From going through Washington and stuff and Oregon all the time, dude, your guys' gas stations are like so much better, dude. They're like
Antonio,
ours are
Consume.
trash in comparison.
when we get you down here, we're going to take you to a Bucky's and you're going to like catch something from a Love's all in the same weekend just so I can show you the difference.
catch something from a Love's.
The Indies Barber race, we can do Buc-ee's and Loves all at the same time.
Yeah,
That'd
that's
be
right.
amazing. It'll be amazing.
Too bad nobody likes
Welcome to
IndyCar.
America.
And
Here's
welcome
a beer and a paper
Alabama.
bag.
And you get Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you
that's-
really will never want to come back to this country.
Dude,
thinks
Alabama
I
is the
came.
loves of the United States.
Dude, it's more than that. It's like
the heart
the
of Dixie,
special,
baby.
the stripes.
The great value America right there.
That's right. The come and go of the U.S.
See, Norman
Anyway.
thinks I came for Barber, but I actually came for Buc-ee's.
There it is.
That's
So
right.
you know. If you know,
That's
you
our
know.
next shirt. All right, so who's 38?
Elliott Sadler.
Elliott
Cool.
Sadler,
The,
David Gallup.
the original M&M's car.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that was old school. Yeah, he was. Before Kyle Busch took that and ran
Back when
with it.
chocolate had cocaine in it. Or wait, that was Coca-Cola. Anyway.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's what someone says when they don't know what to say.
That's crazy, bro.
That's crazy, dude. All right. Anyway,
Dave drank too much of it.
welcome
back
to
in the
lap
day.
38. We're going to talk about racing. That's what we do here. Ready, go.
All
What we
right.
do here.
Well, let's roll into NASCAR on that note. We were at the Charlotte Roval this week. Love it or hate it. There's no in between. You can't
I
just be a
love
neutral
it.
fan. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I think it's cool. I think it's fun in the playoffs, to be honest with you, but some people don't like it. So, you know what? Fuck them. So,
Yeah.
anyways, stage one, we had Tyler Reddick wrap up stage one. Stage two, we had Chase Elliott wrap up. And the race ended up getting won by AJ Allmendinger. I apologize.
Baby.
I don't have much more than that. My PVR box started recording 50 laps in, and I was choked, so I didn't even watch the race because I was just mad. So, anyways, it was the round of 12 cutoff. I think I got my predictions bang on with the four people who were going to be out. I can't remember, but I did say that we'd lose Bubba Wallace. I said that we'd lose Brad Keselowski, and I said we'd lose Kyle Busch.
I said we'd lose Kyle Busch.
We were. He was having a good fight though. He was leading there for a bit.
I don't care. He's out.
Antonio, you
Stupid
did
face.
predict that you would lose Blaney too, and you missed that one.
Oh, I did miss that one.
Ooh,
Tough.
You betrayed.
Tough. It's okay. We lost Ross Chastain instead, so I think it was a fair trade.
That's
so,
all right.
anyways, it's all good.
He didn't try to send it around the wall.
No, he found it didn't work here. It didn't work.
That's funny.
So, no,
Dang
he
it.
needed to get to the round of 8 to do that, but he's out. Ross Chastain's out. Bubba Wallace is out. Brad Keselowski's out, and Kyle Busch is out. I think out of all the people I'm most surprised to see lost would be, not that I'm surprised, but would maybe be Bubba. I thought he would have done a bit better. But I thought Brad and Kyle and Ross were just, I don't know. We haven't seen much of them since earlier this season, so no surprise seeing those guys out. So that moves us to the good old round of 8. So right now, above the cutoff line, we got William Byron, Truex, Denny, Kyle, and Kyle, I guess. So I'm not used to there only being this many guys. And then on the bubble now, we got Chris Buescher, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, and Blaney's at the bottom there. So I love Blaney. I hope he does good. But do we want to make some predictions of who's not going to make it?
Yes, sir.
All right, who's going first? All right, I'll
Not
go
me.
first since I actually know shit about NASCAR. You guys don't know
There you
shit.
go.
So,
Yeah,
anyway.
I was going to say, come on now.
Maybe I'll just predict and you guys can just be like, yeah, those are right, but I don't like this
Yeah,
guy.
let's
so
do
this
that.
guy's
How
out
about we
instead.
do that? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not that I
All
don't
right.
know anything. I'm just, yeah.
I just don't know anything. So anyways, so I'll be honest with you, even though this is the way it's kind of started out, I think, so hold on, where are we going now? We got Vegas and then we got, what's the next one after Vegas? And then it goes to the Martins. Then it goes to Martinsville.
doing it
I always forget the
again.
middle one. I think it's. Oh
doing
dang!
it.
I don't even know, dude. We're doing it again. We're doing it
Homestead,
again.
Homestead,
wait,
Martinsville,
if we go to-
Homestead.
Phoenix.
There it is. Homestead.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
what
going
it
to
is.
fucking kill you at Homestead.
Oh, yeah. He said he
I
was going to
forgot
kill him at
about
Homestead.
that. Damn.
Tune in next
'cause I
week to
guess they're
find
not
out.
back.
While he dies at Homestead.
Well, we're going to Vegas first, so you have to tune in 2 weeks from now. But
Damn, why did he say that then?
yeah, why did
they're
you go
not- I
that
don't
far
think
down
they're
that
not-
road?
I
Xfinity
don't think
doesn't
they're not
ride
back.
till
All right, I was going to say, that's
Yeah,
nefarious as hell. Like,
yeah.
in 3 weeks from today.
Yeah, bro.
I'm going to let this stuff simmer.
on the first full moon of the month.
Yeah, like, damn. All right.
Oh, that's funny. I'm not saying this just because they're the 4 above the cutoff line, but I genuinely do believe the 4 at the top right now are probably going to be the ones racing for the championship without some sort of mishap. I think William Byron's had a phenomenal season. He's got a 20-point buffer too, so that's always going to help. I think Truex is on. He's been doing all right. I thought he'd do better, but he's doing not bad. He almost got eliminated pretty early there. That regular season championship helped him carry through. Denny's on top of his game right now. I mean, if there's ever a season he had an opportunity to win, this is probably one of his best chances.
Does he have a championship yet?
No, he doesn't. As far as I know.
Wow.
No, yeah,
No, he doesn't. I guess that's crazy. Like as much, as much as he's accomplished. You know what I'm saying? That's nuts. Okay, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it's totally true. It's actually crazy that Denny doesn't. He honestly, as much as people hate him and don't like the guy, he deserves a championship. Like he's a great racer. He really is.
Not a big fan and totally agree.
No, yeah, like he does stupid stuff. He's kind of plays the villain role. He plays, which he does a good job at it, by the way. But I think
he's an ass.
Needs one.
I'll
yeah,
give
he's
you
an
that.
ass for sure, 100%.
I'm pretty sure he, in old school style of points, he has a championship. He just hasn't been the guy to win the final race.
Yeah.
So I think he's had the years that put him. I'm 99. Yeah, he's won championships before. He just can't win the final race of the year or be the head guy. So that's unfortunate with this stupid playoff diversion.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I think out of all the guys who are going to do poorly, I do think Buescher's going to be out this round.
What?
Even though he's been great. If he gets through, I'll be happy.
Why do you think that?
Why do I think that? Because I think statistically the 4 greatest guys the 4 guys above the bubble have been the 4 best guys all season. So, you know what? I know Chris Buescher's got 2 wins though, so I can't really. Oh no, is it 3 now? Is it 3? Yeah, he's got 3.
3 wins.
I know. But it's like, it's kind of hit or miss though. Either wins or he's like nowhere to be found. So I don't really know. He's kind of just there. Like, I don't know.
I think Byron, I know he has the most wins out of all the drivers left. And I think all the drivers. He gets unlucky. He does not make it through this round.
No, I think you're crazy. He's got such a points
I think
buffer.
You're nuts.
Unless he gets wrecked out, I don't think he's not going to make it through.
He doesn't make it through because one of the bottom 4 there's 2 guys that get a win out of that, and that's what screws him.
Well, as much as I love Blaney, he's not winning a race this round, I don't think. And if he does, I'll jump for joy. Tyler Reddick, I don't think so either. I don't think any of these tracks favor him. Bell could maybe win Martinsville, but aside from that, I don't know how he do.
Bell's just been crazy consistent. He's kind of the quiet guy that's just been riding along. And I think right now is where you see that not be good enough. You've got to win. Like, you've got to win stages.
Yeah, you got to
win
do
races.
well. Yeah, you got to do well here.
But a lot of times it's his pit crew that screws him over. If they freaking focus and do it, then he's got it.
Yeah, I hope he can make it through.
What sucks about it is Joe gives his guys, and they easily don't put up with that crap.
Yep.
They don't do little mistakes like that. So
yeah, and then Buescher is kind of hit or miss. He could win. I don't really know.
Here's my read on it. I think I'm going to simplify it. I think it's down to the facial hair for this round, and I think Martin Truex is a shoe-in. I mean, look at the guy, and he's a short track beast, and he's just an everything beast.
dude,
yeah. Ryan Blaney's got a nice stash. Historically, has been able to grow nice facial hair. I think he could actually make it through the round. Chris Buescher has historically not had a mustache, but is sporting a mustache right now. And I think that is really going to play into the round of 4, the final 4. I mean, Kyle Larson's a given. The dude, since he grew a mustache, he's been killing it. Seabell can't grow a mustache. I like Seabell, but I think he could very much win Martinsville. But if he doesn't win Martinsville, I don't think I think he's kind of on that bottom totem pole.
He's either got to win Martinsville or grow a beard.
Yeah, and he can't do that, obviously. Same with Tyler Reddick. I mean, like, we've seen the guy try to grow a beard, and it just doesn't work. And he can win races, but, man, like I said, I got to stick to my guns on this. And
Denny can't grow facial hair.
No, yeah, and Denny's struggling. I mean, like he's trying to grow some facial hair right now.
It's just not going right.
It's not great. I mean, kind of same thing with the Willie B. Like it's more of a fuzz. So I'm gonna say Willie B is gonna get a longer mustache and stay in, because that's just gonna have to be how it is. Denny Hamlin, I think he has a real chance to win this year. Like you said, I think he's got a better chance than ever, maybe in his career. But if the dude shaves at all during the round of 8, I don't think he's going to make it.
It's not going to look good for him.
No. So, I mean, what I'm getting at is like, I think Denny has a really good chance of being in, but really, I'm picking Willie B because he's going to get a longer mustache. I'm picking Martin Truex because he's looking great. I'm picking Kyle Larson because, I mean, it's Kyle Larson. And then I got to pick Chris Buescher. The dude looks good with a beard.
Yeah.
I think
so
that
Kyle
Denny
Larson
Hamlin
just gets thrown to the side on facial hair. It doesn't matter if he can or can't grow it. He's just going to make it.
No, well, I mean, look at his mustache right now. I mean, it's killer. I mean,
Okay.
I'm strictly going on like recently. You know what I'm saying? And like Blaney's on and off. Like he grows it and he shaves it. I mean, Seabell looks like a baby. I mean, I think he's out.
He never had a chance.
Yeah, he's out.
He just didn't have a chance.
No.
So
And
we're talking about us.
He's punching way above his weight class right now.
We're talking about us 4. Antonio's out of us 4.
Yeah.
Right.
In this round, it's about the men. No, but on a real note, I wasn't just being silly. I think those are my picks. I got Willie B, Martin Truex, Kyle Larson, and Chris Buescher. I think Denny Hamlin. This is if it's any year, it's this year. But I think he's going to drop the ball a little bit.
Well, and I
think he's all
right
talk,
now,
no walk right now, man.
If you do make the top 4, what it is now, right? It's like Joe Gibbs versus Hendrick. It's crazy. That'd be kind of crazy to see.
I think I got Kyle Larson to win it all again.
It's a good pick. It's a solid pick, right?
Yeah,
I'm still shooting for Martin Truex. I've been saying it since the Coliseum race. I thought this was his year. He's looking good still.
You know, you did call it. And he's got the best beard and mustache in the field.
I mean, it's amazing, bro.
Salt and pepper, baby. We've been saying this.
I'm even jealous of his beard.
I got it going on. I have to like color mine in to make it look like Martin Truex.
Yeah. So keep it simple, boys. I think, we'll see what Blaney does. We'll see if he goes for that Manscaped sponsorship or the Dude Wipe sponsorship. It really depends.
I think he's been too hit or miss this season. Like, from a realistic Blaney fan, he's been like, I don't know if it's him either. It just seems like the Fords, equipment-wise, have been so hit or miss. Like, they're either doing amazing or they suck. Like, there's been no in between. And you can see it by the numbers of who's in the playoffs. Like, there's 2 Chevys, there's 2 Fords, there's 4 Toyotas. Like, props to them. They've been doing freaking great.
Yeah,
like, considering how many of them are in the field, like, that's crazy. So, isn't that like half the Toyotas? Like, how many Toyotas are there other than JGR? Who else is Toyota other than 23XI and Joe Gibbs? Isn't that it? So 6 cars. They got 4 in the playoffs right now. Like, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. There could be a one-off or 2 cars that are Toyota, but from what I know, that this is all it is.
The Japanese grow excellent mustaches.
Apparently, they do.
81.5% sure that's correct. So,
thank you. Very precise. Well,
anyway,
that's good. Anyways.
I love the playoffs, man. I'm digging it. This is when it gets spicy for me. This is this is it. I love it. I give it my full attention from here to the end. I don't give it my full attention any other time, I'll be honest. But from round to 8 to the end, we're watching it all.
I'll tell you what I don't
I'm
give my
calling it now.
full
He's not
attention
going to watch shit and trophies.
Yeah, no,
I'll watch half of it.
But I'll tell you what else doesn't get my full attention. That would be the clash at the Jam Coliseum that they have every year. I think we just touched on that I've been going for Martin Truex Jr. But are they doing that again? I think you said something about it last podcast that they're doing that again. Is that
Unfortunately,
correct?
They are. So I got food in my mouth because I'm fat. But the 2024 schedule is officially released. It's pretty underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. There's quite a few changes that are pretty important.
But shocker, we're going to start at Daytona.
Well, technically, we're going to start in LA, but yeah.
Yeah, we're going to start in LA again.
Our first official race is at Daytona.
Yeah, I
worried
think that's
about
the
that.
only one that should we be doing. Honestly,
If
Let's just
Pitbull's
start
not going to
shooting.
be there, I'm not going to watch it.
Well, he is international, so
Mr. Worldwide.
yeah, Mr. Worldwide.
So the Coliseum the Clash at the Coliseum is unfortunately back. I think we're all over that. Even the drivers are over that. Like I was listening to the podcast that Denny had, and he was talking with who was he talking with?
A guy.
Ooh, I can't remember who it was, but he was even saying, he's like, no, this is just stupid. He's like, I don't know why we're doing this still. So drivers don't like it. All-Star races at North Wilkesboro. Chicago is in fact back, which is funny because I thought that was going to be questionable. So that's back. I don't see that as a bad thing. I mean, again, I had bad intention or bad hopes. Like I didn't think it was going to do well, and it did do well. So you know what? I'm happy it's back. That's cool. It
was okay.
Something different.
It was okay.
You old heads will be happy about this one. So the Brickyard finally returns to the Oval.
I do
there's
like
no
this.
more
Thank
Indy
you.
Road Course. I'm happy too. The Indy Road Course, I'm sorry, it sucks, dude. I don't like the track.
Brickyard's good. I love it. It's fun. It's different. It's kind of like an oval, but it's not an oval. It's really fun. I mean, everybody loves Pocono. It's like that, except weird.
Yeah,
Instead
pretty
of a
much.
triangle, it's like a square. It's like a rectangle. So
Yeah, and the regular season does its usual thing. You know, we go to the Clash, we go to the duels, we do Daytona, and then you do your West Coast swing, and then it starts kind of going all over the place. The other thing, though, we have this year is a 2-week break for the Olympics. They do typically do this. I know most people don't remember it because usually it's every 4 years. But
The Olympics are this year?
2024.
Oh, I was going to say, it's an odd year, bro. I don't think that's right.
Yeah,
All right.
No,
Dave,
this
the
is next
season
year's
ends in like
scheduled.
5 weeks.
I mean, it's
Before.
cold places.
Anyways, they do get that
I don't
double
follow
off
the
week,
Winter
so it's going
Olympics,
to be.
bro.
I don't think anybody really follows.
It's a
the
Summer
to be honest with
Olympics.
you, anymore. Nobody cares about that stuff anymore.
It's the Summer Olympics.
Yeah,
what? 2024.
Where is it? Is it in France?
I don't know.
Oh, here we go again.
Tokyo and NASCAR.
I don't
Tokyo.
know.
How do you know it's in Tokyo? Of all people?
How would you know?
Is there a drift?
Tokyo.
Is there a drift event? There better
No,
be.
he's probably waiting for soccer again. Not football, soccer. I said it.
It's in Paris. I was right.
What, you just threw Tokyo out there? You,
I think
You don't even
Tokyo
know.
was the last one.
You don't even know.
The last
you
one.
just throw any city out there. Oh, that was
He's like,
good.
he said we were just talking about Kyle Larson.
He's like, Bangladesh.
He's from Tokyo or something.
That's so funny. It's in Paris. All right, cool. From the 26th to the 11th, from the 26th of July to the 11th of August.
Tokyo was the last Olympics. That's why I had Tokyo in my mind.
Sochi. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go there. Aren't
Anyway.
they still banned?
Yeah, we don't go. We don't talk about
Yeah,
them.
we don't talk about Sochi.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, moving on.
Back to the NASCAR schedule. I found
The
it
other-
interesting to jump towards the end of the end of the regular season. Darlington now replaces the final race.
What?
All they did was just shift it back.
Yeah.
They Daytona is now the second to last race of the season. Unfortunately, I thought it was so stupid. Like, why are we ending the season at Darlington? Anyways, it gets
It's a
worse. So I'm
one-off
gonna cover
track.
all of this and then let's talk about it quick. So
Okay.
Daytona is no longer the regular season finale. They've shifted it back a week. They filled in Darlington as the regular season finale. Then in the playoffs, they replaced what was Darlington with now Atlanta. And they replaced what was the second round of the freaking playoffs this year? Or the second race of the playoffs this year. I can't even remember. But anyways, they replaced it with Watkins Glen. So I don't know how I feel about that because the playoffs now have 2 road courses and 2 super speedways because we know Atlanta, yes, it's a speedway, but it's really not. So, by the way, it's Kansas that got replaced. Again, why are we replacing Kansas? It was such a good race. It's such a good track. Anyways, sorry, I'm not.
Kansas is in round 2.
Is it in round 2? Oh, it was in the round of 16 before, so they moved it. Okay, that's fine. I'm not that mad anymore. Did they get rid of
Take
Texas?
that back.
Yes.
Let me look.
Yes.
Oh,
Dave,
They got
took
rid of
care that
Texas.
with
Let's go.
Because
Screw
Texas is now a spring race. I remember that in the IndyCar
Right.
discussion.
Right. So, okay, so the big
I'm
things
fine
here.
with that. It's way too hot in September
True story.
to go
Yes,
to. Yeah.
that sounds
it's way
terrible.
too hot.
They
But I
always
don't like
complain about the heat
Darlington.
there.
I don't like Darlington and being the last race of the season. That's a
Man.
one-off race, man. That's like some people are going to do good and some people just aren't. And if
Well,
you're
it's
right
the
on the
Southern
cusp, you're out.
500. Why it needs to
Yeah.
be special, not it's like they tried to make it more special, but that almost just ruined the specialness of it.
Is that not NASCAR in a nutshell, though?
That's like
Yeah,
Let's
when
try
they
to
moved
make
Daytona from
something
July
more
4th.
you're
special
right.
than it was.
Everyone's like, hey, that's cool. They're like, oh, look at this. Look at it. And we're like, it's not cool anymore. That's the Coliseum, dude.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
100%.
That's cool. Oh, you think it's cool? We'll do it forever.
Oh, well, here's Pitbull and 50 Cent or whatever. Like, okay. Like,
No, who was it? Was it Caleb Williams last year or
I don't
something? Like,
remember.
he was just got off a plane. He was from OU. Nobody even knew who the heck he was. Anyways.
I don't think, I really think Daytona was moving that was a bad call. I thought that was one of the best things they ever actually did. Like, you had all these races, whatever it is, like 25 races or something, to get in, and then you had the one final race where it was like, it made it interesting because it's a wild card. Anyone knew could win, but those guys that are sitting right on the bubble, or like that guy who's just in, now it doesn't matter as much because it's gonna go to Darlington, and we're gonna not be able to pass each other. So I don't get that. That one pisses me off the most. Almost more than having 2 super speedways in the playoffs. Almost more. The other thing is, why do we have 2? So we just said that this package ruins super speedways and road courses. So let's add another one of each into the playoffs. That makes complete sense, right? Like, why did we do that? That's so dumb.
They're gonna fix it, Antonio. They'll fix it.
But it's not going to be good.
No,
I'm
they'll
sorry.
fix it. They'll
the
fix
road
it.
course racing is
fix
not
it.
good. It's not good. I love road course racing, but it's not good in the playoffs. Like, 1 was plenty enough. And 2 super speedways, now it's really going to be even harder to win a championship. Like, whoever wins next season, if it's somehow not like the best guy who did well, like who deserved it, the guy's gonna be gifted a championship. That's all I'm saying. Because you're gonna have to luck your way through 2 super speedways. You're gonna have to do decent at 2 road courses. And it's not even like it's just like, oh, they're trying to include every track type, because some people are like, well, to be good, you have to be good at every track type. But Atlanta and Talladega with this package are solely based off of luck. Like, even the guys that normally do well with this package, they're struggling. Like, they're not doing great because you just can't make moves. You have to kind of just get lucky. So I don't know. That's my whole take on the schedule. I just think it's really frustrating.
I was going to move to the end of the schedule. I know Phoenix has been the final race of the year. I want to get y'all's opinion. Y'all think they should rotate that track to be a different track every year? So, like,
Please.
Homestead,
I think so.
Phoenix, Kansas, maybe. I don't. Y'all tell me. I know Homestead and Phoenix and a couple other tracks I feel like should rotate that final race.
It's very weather
agreed.
dependent, but I think Homestead's probably the best choice because it's got the multi-groove racing. I don't think Phoenix always sucks. Like, again, I say this every year. When's the last time you saw a good Phoenix race? Can anybody remember? Like, all I remember, didn't Kenseth and what's his name get into it at that one Phoenix race? Where they took each other out?
2002.
I literally was born that. When did Phoenix in 2002 happen? Let's see if I was even alive. NASCAR Phoenix 2002.
Yeah, why he's looking that up? No, he does make a good point on the weather because Kansas, I mean, right now.
I was 5 months old. Anyways.
Some years Kansas might already be in almost freezing temperatures. You know what I'm saying? Come month from now or whatever the case may be. So, unfortunately, we are. But there's plenty of tracks at plenty of places that you can move that thing around. I totally agree. I think that's a good point. We do it with college football. I know I'll go back to that again because I just talked about Caleb Williams. But college football, they have the rotation of who gets the championship game, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Other sports do it. It's never all at the same place. So why? Why do you got to do this, NASCAR?
Yeah.
Maybe we should do the final at Texas. I'm sure by November it should be cold there. Cooler there.
Yeah. No, it'll be like, what, 50s in the morning and then
and 80.
in the
85
That's right.
by the afternoon.
Yeah, that's
Night
right.
race.
That's right.
Night race, baby.
That's right. No, you know what? I was
humidity
actually
coming
going to suggest that. Let's do the championship in Texas, baby. Separate the men from the boys.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
That's right.
Except for the hype on the NASCAR race.
I mean, do you think, Antonio, maybe they're doing all of this to prepare us for a big change?
Yeah, I don't think they have anything planned, to be honest with you, with what they're gonna do. I think they're just getting too. It's getting too out of hand. Like, it's weird. It's like they think that that's what the fans want. Like, I know from a driver's perspective, like, no, but none of these guys want this. But even as a fan's perspective, like, I think they think we want this, but we don't. Like, just because
Right.
the playoffs get crazy because everybody's wrecking out doesn't mean, like, I want it to be, at Atlanta. There's going to be, guys wrecking out at Atlanta at the start of the playoffs. Like, it's like they want, like, oh, and Chase Elliott doesn't make the playoff or the round of 12 because he got wrecked out at Atlanta, and then, Kevin Harvick takes him out at Like, anyway, you know what I mean? They're just feeding to get these headlines. I don't like it. I think it's ridiculous.
They've been doing that stuff since the COT, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they thought we wanted a car with a wing and a spoiler or whatever, and it's, no. We don't care if they look like real cars. So they're fast.
Do we think that it's because it gets talking points, and they know that it gets talking points, and any news is good news?
Is it though?
And
So
if it was a great schedule and a perfect schedule, we wouldn't be talking about it, right?
Well, kinda, but I think that my opinion is that NASCAR doesn't respect their fan base.
I
think it's obvious.
I can agree with that.
I think that they're trying to, but they're respecting their fan base like Walmart respects their shoppers. Like, oh, well, all they want is better prices and like more available shit. Like, well, not necessarily. Like, if the layout of your store sucks and like there's no cashiers available, then it sucks. You know what I mean?
I think they're still stuck in that weird way of trying to oppose to new fans and old fans. Like, think about it. We have North Wilkesboro as the all-star race, but then we have Atlanta and Talladega and Watkins Glen and
I think you're right.
They're in the playoffs.
They're between a rock and a hard place because they are trying to like keep those diehard fans in it, but they're trying to entertain new fans. But point is that I do think that they don't respect their audience. I've spoken about this before. Like, I feel like maybe NASCAR is afraid to scare away their current audience because like what they're doing is working. Like, NASCAR gets more ratings than Formula One does week to week in the US. So like what they're doing is working. They are the number one racing network in the United States, bar none. And so if they try to get more technical or they try to get more like racy, it might deter fans in their opinion. I think they're trying to keep it kind of dumb. I'm trying to beat around the bush, but they think we're stupid. There, I said it. They think we're idiots, and I think that the schedule, the broadcast, the attention to what's important and what's not is an obvious sign of that for a lot. But they're trying to retain it just enough to keep Grandpa watching right now, which is weird. So where are we going? Like, that's why I joked about the Coliseum, because it really does feel like we're going there. Like, who's playing the concert at the NASCAR race is going to be a big question. You know what I mean? That's how it is with Formula One in the US. All of the marketing I've seen for the US GP is about the concerts. It's the Killers are playing this year, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double check that in a second. But I'm pretty sure it's Ed Sheeran and the Killers, or it's like, I know Taylor Swift played the first year, and then when I went, it was Pink and Imagine Dragons. But like, it's always like all the billboards in Austin, Texas, because like I'm from Texas. If you didn't know, Texas, and like there's billboards. I live 3 hours from Austin, so even in San Antonio, there's billboards for the USGP, and it doesn't say like Formula One coming to a city near you. It's the bands on the billboard. So I think we're kind of going there with NASCAR too, unfortunately. That's how it feels.
I think the problem is NASCAR's got too many races for them to just brand the race, and people like to be excited for it to come. One thing I will say, I did forget to mention this on the schedule as well. Iowa is I guess here. I was gonna say back. It is back on the NASCAR schedules, but it's never been on a Cup, to my understanding. So cool to see that track back. But anyways, rolling back into your topic there.
It's the Killers and Queen with Adam Lambert. Like, that's going to draw fucking 40,000 people alone, that show. So
Should it is a whole nother question.
Yeah, I mean, but like, and Michael Jordan, Pitbull, like we have all these personalities coming into NASCAR. I'm sure that's not the end of it. Like we'll definitely see some celebrities buying up NASCAR teams. Like Ryan Gosling, that'll be his next thing. He'll buy NASCAR.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a turn for sure. I've always been saying I think they're going to try and be the next like V8 supercars.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to try and be similar to that. Like, I think there's going to be a lot more road courses on the schedule in the future, and there's tons of good ones across the United States. Like, we know we all road course race on iRacing, and we've watched endurance racing in real life. We know there's tons of good tracks out there. I don't think I'd necessarily hate to see that, but at the same time, I think if you're going to do all these types of racing, you need to have packages that work on all of them. And I think we can talk all day about how shit the package is right now. So I'm not going to do that, but I really, really think they need to fix, like, especially super speedway racing. That is your bread and butter. There is no other racing that can compare to super speedway racing. It is the most unique type of racing.
Yeah.
Probably in the world. Like, I mean, in a sense of how you race, I should say. So I really think that if they fix that, I don't think it matters what they do with the schedule. But I do think championship-wise, like, I don't think we should be... Like, look at Formula 1. It has, like, the highest numbers it's ever achieved. And they still have a season-long points format. Like,
yeah.
I think if you brought back the chase, it would even be more appealing. Like, I get the whole thing of, like, okay, you have to be good at every track type to be a champion. Sure, if you want to do that, then pick every type of track and do an 8-round chase. Do a super speedway, do a speedway, do an intermediate, do a short track, do a road course. So that's 5. And then, add a few more in. And you get every track type. And sure, you have to be good. You have to be on your game. And you had all this season to do this. But the playoffs, man, like, if you're going to do the playoffs, like, I thought it was working the way they were doing it. Now they're adding like this gimmicky stuff, and it's just getting worse. I'm just it's just stupid at this point.
I question it. Like, it was the same thing when college football shifted to their championship format. The question that I kept asking myself was it because of Las Vegas? It's because of gambling, dude. I really think that NASCAR is sticking to their guns and doing a lot of what they're doing is because both NBC and Fox are heavily in bed with Las Vegas now. Because since sports betting became generally legalized in the U.S., it's not totally legal, but it's pretty generally legalized in the U.S., I've seen NASCAR become the next horse racing. I mean, you need to keep it random. So what you said about super speedways resonates with me. Like, I think that that's their money pot because it's like anyone's game, man. And like, they make a lot of money, dude. Like, I don't know if any of you guys are into sports betting, but I'm sure some of our listeners are, and like, they do live betting. Like, you can bet stage to stage. You can bet on anything, dude. You can bet on fucking anything. So like, keeping this weird random format where we have like, oh, well, now it's down to 8 and now you can only bet on 4 guys. Like, I think it pays better than having like a number 1 seed and a 16 seed. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, these guys, they have better odds, but they kind of suck. And we still get that in March Madness, but I bet we see March Madness shift out of that eventually.
So you're telling me that next, not 2024, but 2025, the round of 8 will end at Vegas with Formula One.
I mean, I think that Formula One, that's why they're coming to Vegas too. I mean, no, I know that was a joke, but I think that's why Formula One is getting involved with Vegas too, is because Formula One is, for the first time ever, I'm not like I don't gamble a lot, but like when I travel, I go to casinos. And I always check the sports book. And for the first time ever this year, in Louisiana, I was able to bet on Formula One, but not just the world champion. I was able to bet race to race. Like, they've always had Formula One world champion to win, but that's a fucking stupid bet, right? Like, you got to bet $1,000 to win $100 on Max Verstappen. But they finally had like race specific betting on Formula One. So I think that, yeah, that's exactly why Formula One's going to Vegas. Who gives a fuck if the race is good or not? Like, the books will make millions of dollars that night. So,
could you imagine if F1 had a playoff format? How much the Europeans would be so mad?
Oh, dude, they would quit. They would quit. But we're dumb enough, American race fans, like we're dumb enough to do it. Like as long as the beer's cold and the books are open, and like let's do it, baby. You know, show me all the.
I'm not here for it. I ain't gonna lie.
All the Cialis commercials you can. You know what I mean? Like that's the mentality, at least it seems right now. So,
yeah.
Anyway,
that's a fair point.
I don't think it's a bad thing because it'll be funded. You know, like at least it won't go away. Like in this current format, if fantasy leagues and betting are keeping NASCAR propped up on the major networks, which I feel like they are, because look at the NASCAR. What is it? What do they call it? Race talk or whatever, that fucking show that's on all day every day
Race
on
Hub?
Fox. Race Hub. There you go. Like that's predominantly a betting show, dude. They show the line and the odds next to every driver. They all give their picks. Like, well, I think Willie B's gonna do good this week, or Joey Logano. Like, dude, they're just fueling bets, dude. The bets are flying in all week, and like I said, the good thing is it'll be funded. And same thing with the bands. Like if you keep big concerts, like I'm looking at F1's like bands this year at the Singapore Grand Prix. We didn't even hear about it, but this year Post Malone, Boy George, Kings of Leon, like there was a good lineup like at the Singapore Grand Prix. So like Formula One's deploying this worldwide. Like book big bands, really attract people that aren't really into racing, get them to come to the race, you know, have a good time. So maybe this is just all series. It's just like we're just kind of like oil isn't cool anymore. You know what I mean? Like we got to find a way to get people to these races other than like cars go vroom and you know what I mean? I don't know. It's weird, but it's definitely changing quickly. And NASCAR they play a lot to kids. I'll say NASCAR is great for kids. So that's going for them. I think they're doing more for kids than any other series. IMSA's pretty good for kids. Like IMSA's really good for kids, but NASCAR really goes full beans for kids. So they could have like my kid's going to be a NASCAR fan because like AJ Allmendinger gave him a hug and signed his Lightning McQueen toy.
He's going to be an Allmendinger fan.
Yeah, like that's fucking cool, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's cool. So I think they got that going for him. But as a racing fan, it's tough. I would like to see more strategy. I like road races in the playoffs because I like to see the pit stops and I like to see weird shit happen. But that's because I'm a Formula One fan and I like road racing. So, but I do like betting. I love betting on super speedway races. I love betting on the Daytona 500. That is the shit. That is a lot of fun. And I do lose a lot of money every year doing that.
I think NASCAR shit the bed. I think they've shit the bed too many years in a row. I think they've gotten away from what they were good at, which was just hardcore competitive racing. I think they do too many damn road courses. I think they do enough of the bullshit with the Bristol with the dirt, which they're doing away with. I get that, but I think I don't know. It just doesn't feel like old NASCAR, which may be just fine for everyone, and that's okay.
But does anything feel like old anything?
F1's starting to kind of get back to it. You got one guy dominating, the rest of them's fighting for scraps. That's how it's been forever. I mean, you know?
Yeah.
Rinse, lather, repeat.
We just need Max to win for like 4 more years.
4 more years. Well, it'll be
4
what?
more years.
It'll be like 3 more years. We switch the car, and then it'll be somebody else's turn. I mean, Norris may be the next guy the way it's looking, or Piastri. But I mean, that's yeah. I mean, that's just funny. What we do over here. So we're okay with it. But yeah. Anyways, moving away from that, we will come back to that. I promise you at a later date. I don't think that one's a done deal. We can keep trashing on NASCAR a lot and the way they do things, or you maybe love it on NASCAR and the way they do things. But Formula One was over there at Qatar. It was another sprint weekend. I could trash on Formula One because of the sprint format. I don't like it. Guys were talking about how from Friday to Saturday we found a couple seconds out there. Well, it's because you didn't practice. You had one practice. You went straight into a quali session. And then, Stroll got butt hurt, and then we went into a sprint weekend Saturday. Yeah, first off, before I start on the Qatar, last episode we were talking kind of about Porsche and F1 and Audi and F1 and all that stuff. We didn't know if Porsche was going to be in or not. I did the Google search like we should have done, and before we ever start a podcast. But yeah, they're officially backed out, so there'll be no more Porsche. So we don't have to worry about, Max going over to Porsche and dominating in a Porsche or anything. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. But we'll see what goes on with, is it Aston Martin that's moving over to Audi? Is that right? Is that correct on that? I think that's
Aston
right.
Martin is going Honda, I believe.
That's right.
If
So that's the
someone
crazy
correct me,
thing
but
is-
I think it's what's the other Italian Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, you're right. Y'all had to correct me last episode. I'll write it down somewhere and put it on a post-it on my monitor or something so I don't make that mistake again. But, yeah.
And also, right now, as it sits with Andretti, Cadillac is a sponsor helping them, not an engine manufacturer, but that could change in the near future.
I.e. Aston Martin with the Aston Martin Racing. They're not actually running Aston Martin. They're an Alfa Romeo the same way. They're not running those. That's kind of what you're trying to say, right?
So I misspoke last episode because I said they would be on the grid. They wouldn't be an engine manufacturer. They'd be a sponsor. So, unfortunately,
Few corrections.
They probably win. Let's be honest. I mean, when they're competing with Ford, so they had to realize they're like, we'll let Ford have some light in this sport.
But
well,
yeah,
at least
though
Ford
we had
can
to
beat Ferrari. So
There you go. It's not that hard nowadays.
I was getting ready to say, heck, they didn't even race one on Sunday. They just parked it. It was like, nah, you're good. But anyway, so
we got a fuel issue. We are not starting.
Yeah, no, they didn't even have enough time. They didn't even talk. They just leaned over to him. He was out of the car in street clothes, like, you're not racing, bro. But yeah, so it was the sprint weekend. Qualifying went by. I mean, it was okay. It is what it is. Stroll got a little bit frustrated afterwards. It was a big news story. He apologized. I don't think that's good enough. There's obvious frustrations with Stroll and how he's performing. Alonso's fallen off too a little bit, but I mean, he's still up there punching for top fives. So
did he end up pushing his trainer or did he punch the wall? Because like some people were like, oh, he pushed his trainer, and I was like, that's what it looked like. But everybody, but then Sky Sports was like, no, we think he just punched the wall or something. I was like, well, fucking shit, dude.
No,
like,
I think he smoked his trainer.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought too.
He did Matt
like,
Crafton
yeah, right.
and smoked the trainer. But no, I don't know if he actually punched him or pushed him really hard. But there was, and I think this guy was just trying to say, "Hey, pump the brakes, calm down," and all that stuff. And Stroll was like, "I'm out of here, dude. Get the hell out of my way." But last week we didn't talk about it much. I didn't think there was much to it because Stroll has kind of rumored that he was saying that he might not be in racing, and then his dad rumored that he would put the team for sale if his son didn't want to race. Apparently, might be something to that because Stroll doesn't look like he wants to be in that car anymore. He's frustrated by his performance. Bad thing was, man, I don't know about y'all, but he kind of stepped it up at the first of this season. I thought I saw a little bit of glimpse of a decent racer there, but it's not there now, unfortunately. He's just not performing.
Is the pressure cracking him?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think he has a big problem with. He wanted to be somebody other than Lawrence Stroll's son. He wanted to make it on his own, and hey, that's cool. I'm not going to bang him up for that. But you're still racing your daddy's car, who just got sponsored by a car manufacturer in Aston Martin that you didn't really have before your dad bought the company and made him the sponsor. So you're never going to get out from underneath that shadow unless you're putting on Max Verstappen style performances. So unfortunately, he's trying to get out of a shadow that he'll never get out of unless his dad sells a team and he goes to another team and makes it on his own. So I think we all think that he's kind of there, probably be gone by now if it wasn't. He's had some good years, but are good races, but never really a good year. So anyways, going back to the racing, sprint weekend, McLaren's look great, by the way. In qualifying, they look good. For the race itself, they look good in the sprint Saturday. Saturday sprint Saturday, sprint shoot. Yeah. Sprint Saturday. We didn't have a name for it.
Sprint Saturday? It should be Sprint Saturday. That makes sense.
Something for the whole day as a whole because it don't really mean anyways. Yeah. Piastri
put on shit Saturday.
Yeah. I didn't say that. But anyways, Piastri, it is for some points. They give out a few little measly points, and Piastri won the sprint. Good on him, man. Kid's been putting it on. I'm kind of starting to feel bad for Norris a little bit, just personally, because, like I said, I've said before, you guys know, Danny Rick's my boy, and he's kind of getting that Danny Rick feeling like he was supposed to be one of the guys, the main guys, and now you kind of see that little pendulum start swinging back towards Piastri now. He's putting on some damn good performance. He's driving the hell out of that car. And Norris seems like he's keeping up, but he's not getting to him. Anyways, Verstappen in the second place, split the podium between the two McLarens, but it was a really, really good weekend just overall for McLaren's, man. I got to say, hands down, they're putting it out there. Max is showing really good poise. I think that's something we can say that he's learned, even though he's had a dominant ass car. He's a lot more patient than he used to be when he's racing. He don't just jump out there. It took him a couple laps to get around, up to second. And I think he had possibly something to go get, but he just didn't really, you know what I'm saying? It just didn't matter. But with that, he did clinch his third title on Sprint Saturday in the sprint race due to his teammate getting into a little wreck there with Norman's Haas and another fella by Ocon. And I just want to say, I had Ocon to Bennett. I don't know if I got half a point since he did it in the sprint race.
I think
we didn't
you
really
do,
talk
bro.
about it. But yeah,
I think you deserve something.
I think you should get 2 points because he wasn't
2
supposed
points.
to predict the sprint race.
Norman's saying no. We'll go into that later. But it was the same move that I'll talk about later with the Mercedes. Ocon tries to go on the outside. It was a little different because there wasn't tire strategies really in it at the time. But Ocon tried to go outside, squeeze the Haas. There really wasn't anywhere for nobody to go. It was 3 cars trying to be in the same part of the track on that one. And hands down on that one, Perez came out with the worst part of it. Like his whole side of his car got flipped on top and then flat back down. I don't know what's going on with his left wrist. I don't know if anybody remembers watching that, but he was kind of looking at his wrist and it looked like it was white on top of the blue. I don't know if maybe he had calcs on it. Nothing ever came of it. He's not damaged or anything. It was just kind of weird. He kept looking at it like it was banged up. But anyways, Perez is out on that in the sprint. So he had to rebuild the car. They did not wait to work on the car, which, after the race, you can't really work on the car until the race is over kind of thing for a complete rebuild and this and that. They just went ahead and started working on it, changed too much like we've seen with the Williams, I think, last week, or last race, or the race before, where they changed too much and pretty much built a new car. And you can't have 3 cars. So he had to start from the pits when it comes to Grand Prix weekend. And the Grand Prix weekend coming up too, just Sunday, the Grand Prix itself was just all talked about staying off curves. Pirelli was having trouble with the tire degradation. Nothing was holding up like it was supposed to. They said they had micro cracks on the sidewalls, which usually we have graining across the surface of the tire, but not micro cracks. So it's kind of a new deal. It was because of the heat. I mean, the place was, repaved not too long ago and had heat going like crazy. But Pirelli was running the show at that point. Because right before the Grand Prix, I think we knew that they were going to have to go 18 laps. It was a max that they could do laps on tires. They had to come in. They made it mandatory, which just kind of pretty much blew the race up for some of the guys. There wasn't much strategy. It was more of when are we taking what tires, what we got left, and that kind of stuff. So, like I said, that really changed the outlook of the race. Not the winning in the top, but I think some of the middle road guys probably. I mean, when you got to toss up, your only way to win strategy or get good points, and that's just out the window. That's frustrating for some teams, I'm sure. But anyways, the Grand Prix started the Grand Prix. Sainz was actually out too. He didn't even get to pull his car onto the track because he had a fuel leak. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, but Red Bull. It was a restart. They were going to restart, because of wrecks and stuff. But if I remember right, they almost rebuilt like a whole front right of Max Verstappen's car while it was there. They just put more parts on it. But Ferrari had a fuel leak you couldn't figure out. You couldn't get a wrench out maybe and tighten it?
Yeah, I was just tighten the fitting.
Or is it more of it leaked so much fuel that they couldn't measure how much was in the car at that point? So, because, they've got mandatory everything on weight. And I never could find what the details of it was. But anyways, needless to say, they didn't even let Sainz put the car on the track, period. Pre-race, Sainz gone. He's out. Kind of put Leclerc on the back foot if he's going to try to do anything with strategy, unfortunately, with anybody. He's the only one out there, which I think he likes anyways, but that's just my personal.
Yeah.
He didn't have to worry about Sainz stealing the show.
He was like, "Oh, it wasn't me for once. Let's go!"
Yeah, all I got to do is finish this thing. Let's go. But yeah. Anyways, Perez started from the pits, like I said before, because he had to change too many things on his car before the wreck. It was just a violation of the rules. But anyways, moving on to the race itself. Really, the biggest thing I think that happened was the lap one. The Mercs get together. Hamilton's on reds. Russell, like a lot of other guys, were on the yellows. We found out in the sprint race that it wasn't really going to happen on the reds, but everybody only had certain tires that they could use due to the weekend and the way it played out, and they didn't know they were going to have to change them every 18 laps. So I think a lot of guys were having to play strategies for later in the race. Started on softs. Hamilton tries to go to the outside. Russell's in the middle. I think it was Max on the inside. And Hamilton, I don't know if he thought it was a later lunge to the outside. He had plenty of room to go on the outside. He could have used curves if he needed to stay out, but he got way off the curves, clipped his teammate, and ended up losing a tire. His complete tire came loose, and he's out for the rest of the race. So he made it a good, 400 feet maybe? Before Russell now, luckily didn't have much damage. I'm sure he had something, but he didn't have enough to really break him up. But it kind of screwed up their strategy to try to fight the McLarens. After that, man, it was just kind of a boring race to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
The race drivers talked about it afterwards, and they said it was nothing but hot laps for 57 laps. Qualifying laps, because you didn't have to worry about tire degradation because you're coming in at 18 laps. And I think that's counterintuitive to what Pirelli was trying to do, because if you're telling me that the tires are breaking down, then how are the guys saying that every 18 lap I was pushing as hard as I could?
Do you think that also had to do with I know they're not long races, but if you go out and you try to hot lap every lap of a 50-lap race, that's really mentally and physically taxing more than it is if you say, hey, you need to take care of your tires.
Oh, yeah. No, there's times that I'm racing on iRacing, and I'll say, I've been in a really good heated battle with somebody, and then I see him slip up for a minute. So you're like, okay, now in this next stretch, this straight, I'm just going to take a breath for a couple of corners. I'm just going to take a little bit off. He's like 2 seconds behind me. I'm going to give him half a second, just collect my shit, and then we're going on, because he's going to come back. And yeah, they didn't get that, because like they said, they were qualifying laps every time. So yes, no. And, the next thing we'll get into, I think, was the biggest thing of the whole day. If it wasn't the track limits all race long, due to Pirelli, it wasn't even track limits that were set pre-race or pre-weekend. It was the ones that were set pre-race due to trying to save the tires and keep them off the curbs. They made their own track limits. That's why I say when Pirelli owned the weekend, they owned the weekend. It was their rules, and we were doing what they had to do to get these tires through, which I think is just crap in 2023. But don't start me on down that road, because if you got to do curves, stay off curves because it's unfair advantage, I totally understand it. If you got to stay off curves because you can't build a tire to hold up, you got one job, Pirelli. I mean, it's probably your biggest job. I think, commercial tires are probably pretty big, but as far as racing goes and sponsorships, this is your biggest race, your biggest sponsorship. You might want to try to figure this out. But track limits got everybody. I think Perez got twice, right? 10 seconds, I think, maybe even. I know he got 2. But yeah, everybody got a little bit of the track limits down in the mid pack. But yeah, we'll go to towards the end of the race. Came over the radio for old Sargent, our American Logan Sargent. Apparently, he wasn't feeling too good pre-race. You could tell by the talk. There wasn't anything said, but you could tell there was something, because they said, "Hey, man, if you need to shut it down, you can shut it down." And he said, "No, I want to finish this. I want to do this." Commentators even said something along the lines of, he's trying to show that he needs to be here. He wants to be here. Because he's fighting for a spot. I mean, he just is. Even though they keep saying next year's fine and he's going to be okay, it's not. You don't do what he's doing in F1 and stick around very long. You just don't.
Nope.
Doesn't matter what nationality you are, man. They're going to cut you loose. So, long story short, he finally calls over and says, "Hey, man, I got to get out of here. I can't do this anymore." And they're like, okay, you can go ahead and slow down, because like Norman was touching on, it was the just running hard every lap. The heat was the biggest factor, and that was what was doing the damage to the tires too. This weekend was very, very, very hot. And we did a little pre-checking because we weren't quite sure. The guys don't get to wear those little ice suits you see them wearing, the little vest pre-race, after the race. They don't get to wear those during the race. Alonso came over the radio mid-race, and this is Alonso. Fernando Alonso, 42 years old. I don't even know the stats on how many races, a crap load of races. He's been seen, he's done it all. And he was even saying, because I'm coming in for my second pit stop. He was like, can I please get some water, ice, something dumped into the cockpit? And they were like, we're checking. Which, of course, I watched when he came in the pits. They showed, and they didn't do anything. So he just sat there. He said, my back was burning. Like, the engine was actually burning his feet, his back, And for somebody like Alonso to come over and say it must have been pretty bad. But everybody was getting it. And that's what kind of bothered me about Sargent. But then I seen that he had heat exhaustion after the race, unfortunately. So
I've been there in a car. I'm not a professional driver, not at all. I'm a weekend warrior, and I've got heat exhaustion in a car. It's not fun. I did this last race. I put a gallon Ziploc bag full of ice in my core just to be safe, and it's a game changer just to keep that core cool. It's amazing what it can do, and I don't think F1 should be regulating driver cooling in what you can and can't do. If they want to wear an ice bag around their chest, they should be able to wear an ice bag around their chest.
I don't think they are regulating it. I think it's the teams that are telling them no because it's the weight. I mean, it has to be, man. Like,
everything I read, it was regulation. Now,
really?
Yeah, what that regulation, I don't know. I didn't, I just read that there was a regulation that they can wear them before and after. They can't have them in the car. But I don't understand why that isn't, like you said, an option. If you want to bring on that extra weight, a couple of pounds, then so be it. Just weigh in with it. We know what's in the car, and you're going to be slower, Yeah, I mean, there's got to be something. I think something will come out of this, and I'll go on and quote Esteban Ocon and a couple of other guys, but Ocon was quoted even saying, I was throwing up on lap 15 to 16 for two laps, I think. That was his quotes. He was actually throwing up in the car.
How do you think that? You either know or you don't.
Yeah, I think he was saying he was throwing up for 2 laps. Like, he wasn't just throwing up a little bit. Like, it was for 2 straight laps he was throwing up. That was lap 15 of 16, okay? That was 57-lap race. And he finished that bad boy. So I got to give him props. But everybody was heated.
Hope he doesn't wear that helmet again.
Yeah, right. No joke. Max and Oscar and Norris were talking about the heat in the post-race room after the race. They were the 3 that stood on the podium. McLaren's hand over fist. Everybody else, of course, Max on another level as usual. He still had his performance, and I don't think he's going to slow down any. I think that's what he showed us. He won the championship on Saturday, and on Sunday he dominates again. I think we're going to keep seeing that throughout this year. But they were even talking about it in the post-race room, how the heat was just crazy out there. Norris actually looked like he was doing better than Max and Oscar. I'm not going to lie. Like, Norris must be doing some workouts or something, because dude was just chilling in a chair. The other 2 were laying on the floor looking like they were about to pass out. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the weekend. The heat was the biggest deal. I think somebody said that I saw Stroll was parked next to an ambulance. Like, he just pulled straight up to an ambulance during part for me. Albon was struggling to get out of the car. I noticed they showed Sargent for a little bit before the team blocked him off where nobody could see him. He was actually like hanging over the halo. It's like he couldn't officially get out of the car itself. So, heat was a big one. Pirelli was a big one. And Max, the biggest thing is Max clinched his 3rd straight title. Dude's dominant. He's got 5 races left just to mess around.
What a monster, dude.
Can we talk about the heat quickly?
Yeah.
What's your guys' take on the heat? I'm curious, because a lot of people were like all over the map with it. Like, I saw some people who are very sympathetic and was like, we shouldn't be racing guitar in these conditions, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw a lot of people who were like, oh, these are top level athletes. Like, they should be able to withstand this, figured out.
On that, I was going to go on that same note as saying, do we think because of this that we should be double thinking racing guitar? And
we're just racing guitar because of stupid money reasons anyway.
Yeah, well, we all know that.
Qatar sucks. Let's be honest. Qatar's a pretty shit track. But let's put that aside. And biases aside.
And
do we think the heat has anything to do with it?
My opinion is going back to what we just touched on, is heat exhaustion is a real thing. I don't care if you're a performing athlete. Like, they're not allowed to have any core cooling devices in their car to keep their cores cool. And if you lose your core temperature as a human, you're fucked. Sorry for the language, but you're
Yep.
fucked if you lose your
Yep.
core.
No, you are. Yep.
And that's what's happening to these guys. And I think Formula One should be like, if you want to run this, you're allowed to put an ice bag in your suit or wear an ice vest. Or if you want to run water pump through a freaking cool short shirt, you can run that. It's extra weight, but weigh in with it and we'll let you run it.
I would say so, and I mean, you almost got to put this on F1, right? If you're going to have them racing there, there's a little bit of money tied up in people like, I don't know, named Max Verstappen right now. You might not want to go and have him have a stroke where he can't be in a race car anymore because his body's been too overheated. Like, let's not go that far. But these guys were getting out, man, and every one of them was looking at each other like, we just did something that we're, not going to forget. Like, that was, Max said it was top 5 hardest race. I heard another racer, I can't really think about who it was, but they said it was the worst race, the hardest race, not worst race, but the hardest race of their career. And it's just, it's frustrating. I was most frustrated by and for both at the same time, Sargent, just fighting for a spot, and then something like this comes up. It's just frustrating. I'm frustrated that he quit because I'm just one of those guys that I just die in that car if it's up to me staying in that car.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pull me out of this thing, dude. I'm finishing this race, even if I pass out and run off the side of the road, off into the gravel trap, and then you find me. But I'm not getting out of this car right now because it may be one of the deciding factors for my future. So in saying that, I think he was the worst one because once he got out, you could tell the dude was hurt.
The thing I go on with that is I agree with you, Levi, but also at the same time, as a driver being in a car, I've had heat exhaustion in a race car. You start like forgetting what turn you're going into. Like you're like, oh shit, where am I on the track? And stuff. And it's not only you that you're putting in danger at that point, it's other cars on the track.
Yeah, but Logan wasn't putting anybody on the track. He was back there by himself like usual.
If anything, he was being super dangerous, like trying to get out of the way.
That was one of the things. Because during qualifying, and if you don't know, if you're listening to this and everything, Formula One, it's a little different. It's an open qualifying session. So when somebody's on a hot lap, you get off the track. So that's all he had to do is kind of like slow down in the off apex and offline and let everybody go on around and then go on to the pits. The dude literally stopped in the middle of the track during a race at one point and let like 2 more guys zoom by him. And I'm like, dude, you got to keep a minimum speed or you're more dangerous than being out there trying to go full speed. But it was pretty bad. I saw one of them where Russell had his hands up above the steering wheel out in front of the halo, like going down the straightaway, trying to get just any kind of, I figure he's trying to shoot it down through his gloves or something onto his, there was a couple of guys that were pulling up their visors, especially in the pits, but some of them doing it down the front straight to just try to get some air. And I don't think I see that much in F1 during the races. So anyways.
Who's that, Sachi?
So going back to like the weight and the ice pack, we saw IndyCar this year mandate at Nashville the air scoop coming into their cockpit. That all teams had to do it because they knew the engineers wouldn't allow it. Do we think Formula One should mandate that they allow that all drivers have to wear an ice vest and the engineers can't? There's nothing the teams can say about it. You have to wear this ice vest.
I think it's a race to race. I mean, this is the first time I remember us having this issue for a while. I don't ever remember it being this bad.
Well, I'm saying
so I think it's a one-off.
Yeah, but IndyCar does it like if the temperature and humidity is above this temperature, this is mandated. If it's not, then you get the choice. So Formula One, if
F1's a one-off though, F1's a one-off. They always have been. And for something like that, I think, like you said, yes, it probably will have to be mandated. But at the same time, I don't think they would. I think they would say, okay, you can do it. And the engineers are going to look at the drivers, and the drivers are going to look at the engineers and go, no, it's a heavier car. We're not doing it. And they'll jump in there, without the cold seats on just for performance. It's a crazy, crazy difference than any other motorsport. They don't care about safety. It's whatever's fastest and whatever F1 will let us get away with.
So it takes a guy having a heat stroke in the middle of a race to change something.
Yeah. I know, and we've had that because, I think that Logan was pretty close to it. But yeah, I think it'll have to be something like that. I mean, they always have been too, even with safety, man. They were always post everything over the years and over the past. They don't usually get out in front of something. They have something in place because something bad happened. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what we see from F1, unfortunately. And I'm not saying I agree with that, but hey,
But
that's why I like it. It's crazy as hell.
I don't even think people would realize that they even did it. Like, it'd be so much behind the scenes that, we're just forcing these guys to wear an ice pack around their chest. You know.
Oh, somebody like Horner would come out and be like, "Oh, it's just a performance." Toto would be like, "They're just trying to slow down the Mercedes."
Yeah, but the fans, we wouldn't see it personally during the race. It would just be them bitching about it.
Yeah. Yep. Couldn't tell you. But we'll have to see. Like I said, hopefully we won't have to worry about that again this year. They've got a whole off season to worry about that. We got 5 races left. It's just kind of crazy to say that, this isn't the last time that somebody's clinched this. It just seems like he's been more dominant. I don't know. Now, I think he's been more dominant than anything that I can remember in my time watching F1 and stuff. Max has had a hell of a year, and good on him and good on that team. Clinched the Manufacturers Championship, 1 race weekend. The very next time we go racing, he clinches. It's a really good time to be a Red Bull fan if you are. Crazy dominance.
I got 2 more
next
years.
Race, of course. Yeah, next race coming back to United States Grand Prix down at good old COTA, Austin, Texas. Hopefully my boy Danny Rick will be back. Unfortunately, that means Lawson won't be there, and he's been shining. He's been looking good. But October 22nd, so it looks like we got a few weekends before that one pops off. But, yeah, it's going to be a good one. I like COTA. COTA's kind of a rough track. It didn't really come off, I don't think, as well as everybody's liked over the years. But I do like it because I've been to it, okay? That's why I like it. I'll let you know.
baby. Texas.
But, yep, Texas. We're back in Texas, baby, going to that American run.
Yes, sir. The S's.
Yeah, got to go. The S has got that American flag up all over there.
Turn 1, baby. Red McCombs.
Who do we
corner.
have at the concert? That's more important. Who's that?
The
again?
Killers and Queen.
There you go, with Adam Lambert. Don't forget that part.
Don't forget.
That's the important stuff that we care about. But yes, as far as I know, that will probably wrap it up.
We should bring a guest on next week.
Yeah, we should. We need another guest.
It's been a
soon.
while. Even if it's James East again. Dude's a beauty.
TGS Super Speedway Shootout, Talladega, officially Talladega, November 8th. Mark it on your calendars.
So you're going to get your cheeks clapped again by me? Just saying.
There it be. My boy Dave led some laps, bro. He was up there.
Bro, I did. And then
No
all right,
way.
let me tell you my story.
Good.
So I led a bunch of laps, and then there was this guy, I don't remember his name, but that's probably for the best, that was like obviously talented and experienced and was pushing me during practice. And then during the race was like, helping
Pushing
me
you.
out. Yeah, doing good.
I think his last name was Locke, was it not?
I don't remember, but it was good.
You could tell he knew what he's doing, for sure.
So we green white checker. I have enough gas in the car. I'm starting P5 on the outside lane. So we come around turn 1 and 2 onto the back straight at Daytona. I'm about halfway down the back straight, and this guy's pushing me hard. And I'm like, fuck it, let's go 3 wide. Like, this guy's going to push me all the way to the lead. And like, he's been helping me a whole race. So I pop out 3 wide, and he gave me like the universal signal of like, let's go 3 wide. Like, he dipped out to the outside, and I was like, all right, let's go. I jumped outside, and he abandoned my ass, dude. I went from 5th to 11th and then crashed. I think I finished
Dude, worst part of this is he goes, I'm going 3 wide, because I was kind of helping him on the radio, trying to kind of get him more what's going on everywhere. He's like, I'm going 3 wide. I think this guy's going to go with me. I was on the bottom. I literally let off the gas and went 3rd lane because I was like, he's going to dump him. He's going to leave him. I'm going to go up there and save this dude. And I just couldn't get enough momentum to get up there. And he's like, oh my God, he left me. No. I was like, I'm coming. We're not going to make it.
I'm a road racer. I'm so sorry. Like,
yeah, it was bad because I really, man, Dave was doing a hell of a
dude,
job.
I think I led like 15 laps.
Yeah, he was by himself up there because I decided shit was bad. These lines were snaking. Norman can say it. It was bad.
I had a
It was
bad race too, but I did lead the first lap.
Yeah.
Thanks to Levi.
Yeah, he
Levi
did.
pushed me to the lead in the
He
first
did.
lap. Dude.
I did. Yeah, I qualified for once. So I was outside pole, fell back a little bit. Norman got in front, pushed him up there.
I saw you
I was all
falling back,
fucking
and I was
salty.
like, dude,
I
I'm
left.
sorry, Levi, but it's open, and I know you'll push me, so I'm coming up.
No. Dude, the rules here with me ever, if you're in front of me and you're at a super speedway and we're on the outside, and if you can take the bottom lane and that's what you want, you better do it because I suck at pushing. So that was it. That's all you're getting from me. You better take it.
I jumped up in front of you. I was like, dude, I feel like an asshole. He started outside fucking pole. Levi's like, yeah. I don't know. Did you?
Dude, I got a shit start. I don't know what happened, but I got a real shit
I was
start.
third row. So first, second,
I fell back.
And then I got into third, and I was like, I'm going to jump up and try to help you. At least you can push. Yep. And you pushed me all the way down that back stretch. We got a massive run. And you got me to the lead, and then I was.
Yep. Then all hell broke loose.
Why the hell did they go 3 wide coming to pit stops?
That's what they do, bro. Anyway.
I don't know. I just got eaten up. It was.
Come on out, Team Goon Squad. Come on out and check it out. Go to their website and all that good stuff.
My parents were watching. My dad texted me like, "What the fuck was that?"
Your dad's like, "You fucking suck, dude."
I was like, "Oh, Dad, I'm so sorry." Like, holy shit! Oh my god, I'm embarrassed.
Hey, like I told Dave, he learned a crap load that race.
I did. It was awesome. I can't wait for the next one. Worth $15 just for the experience. For sure.
I do have to apologize to both of y'all. Y'all came to pit road, and I didn't realize, like, I wasn't paying attention to things. I came into pit road, had all 4 tires checked, full tank of gas. I was like, "Fuck!"
Called it. I come out of pit road and I go, Norman's not with us, and I promise you, he forgot to click his tires off.
Damn it.
And Dave goes, "It's all right, we can do this." And I'm thinking, we can't. And I was like, "Yeah, we can."
I was like, because I saw what had happened. We lined up, and I don't know if you told Dave to jump up.
I did, because we were coming way too fast.
And he jumps up and then ducks in behind us, and I was like, I'm not letting off Levi's ass. I'm like, I'm pushing him all the way. He says, we're pitting this lap. And I was just so focused on trying to hit my marks, because I didn't realize we were going to have to pit again. I calculated 10 laps less than what we had to run. I don't know why. And I was like, oh, we're good to go. I'm just going to save a little bit of fuel for green, white checkers, and then I'm going to push at the end. I'm so lucky to be in this fucking race. I'm so sorry, guys, because if we could have come out 3 in a line, I think we would have had something.
I know.
Well, I think we could have caught the pack for sure, but the bad thing was something happened with the trucks. He couldn't push me. He could never get to my back bumper, and I was trying to come back to him by dragging the brake a little bit. It just wasn't working out, so I was like, maybe it's the Toyota and the Chevy when they're light on gas or something, trade spots. And then I think I tapped you once or twice. I just couldn't get to your bumper for some reason once we lost the draft of the pack, so... Anyways, lesson learned.
Right.
Lesson learned.
We got the late course caution, and we got the reset, and it didn't work out for me either.
Yep. If you're into iRacing, get in there. If you're not, get into iRacing, and then go find Team Goon Squad. If nothing else, watch their YouTube. It's crazy. They've got races on almost every night, if not every night. So go to their website though and get into these races, because the more people's in there, the more winnings they get, and I'm gonna win one of these damn things. Okay, so help me out by paying me more by you being there, okay? And you might win.
Yeah, and reference the podcast as how you heard about them.
Yeah, in fact, I think we need to go find the Mr. John Wood or whoever won and probably have him on as a guest next week, because that's kind of what that'd be a good idea. We have to look into that. Maybe have a little snippet or something.
Why'd you abandon me, bro?
Yeah, right? Tell that guy, hey, fella.
He ended up getting second. He knew he had a plan the whole time. He was like,
just go dump his ass next time.
I'm gonna let this fucking guy,
NASCAR, baby.
I'm gonna let this fucking guy get out of my way and abandon him and
So
podium.
where did y'all Levi and Dave? Where did y'all finish?
I don't know, like 16th. I watched you go across the line before me, Norman. I was like in the grass backwards, like, oh, there goes Norman.
Yep. No, I finished, and you should have heard Dave afterwards. I was trying to do like a post race debrief. And he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.
I gotta do some stuff. I'm gonna
upset.
go.
I'm gonna leave."
I was like, "All right, man. Well, I got the app. Talk to you later."
I was just happy that I got a top 10, because it was miserable.
It was. You were front, back, front. It was a crazy day for you.
Well, the first wreck I got involved with on the 3 wide, and I didn't know what the fuck had happened. Like, all of a sudden, it was like every car around me just turned into me and hit me. And it was net code. And then I was damaged, and I had fixed some of it, but I wasn't trying to use a fast repair. And some guy behind me was trying to, like, go. And I was like, I just jumped up to try to stay in a draft and hold momentum. And he's trying to push me. And I'm not able to really hold a line. I'm trying to follow the guys in front of me because I got to stay in the draft. And then I dump myself across his bumper because he tries to force it 3 wide again on me because I'm not holding a line. I'm like, dude, it's just not my day. I just need to pack it up and go home. But I'm like, I'm finishing the screw thing. I'm going to take my fast repair. I'm going to take care of my car. And then I screwed it up in pits. Yeah.
Still, great race, great deal put on by Team Goon Squad.
Yeah.
So check
Yeah,
those
we were
out.
happy to be there.
We'll be there on the 8th.
Thanks again. Yeah, the 8th. What, September 8th?
November 8th.
Oh, November 8th? That's what I
Talladega.
meant.
I was gonna say we're in October.
Yeah, there's not one before then?
I think we're looking.
November
I think
8th, the
right
next
now
one?
they're talking about every month doing one. So it'll be November
Sweet.
8th, Talladega. So 4 wide is possible. I have been in a Talladega race that has gone 5 wide. It ended really bad, but that was because the guy in the freaking middle doesn't run a spotter and didn't know that we were 5 wide and took the whole freaking line out.
Yeah. Tune in for that. But yeah, I think that does it for lap 38. Thanks for tuning in, boys and girls out there in La La Land. Don't forget, join our Discord. All that good stuff. Anybody else got anything to add, or is that about it?
We out.
I'm good, man. Yeah, good episode, everyone.
Ford sucks and so does Norman. See you guys next week.
Every time.